The Valoran ship appeared in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. Its crystalline hull shimmered like a diamond against the blackness of space. Earth's military detected it first, scrambling fighter jets that looked tiny next to the massive alien vessel. Captain Tak stood on the bridge of Earth's largest military ship, his hands clasped behind his back as he studied the alien craft on the viewscreen. "Sir, they're broadcasting a message on all frequencies," Lieutenant Hannah said, her fingers moving quickly across her console. "Let's hear it," Tak ordered, his voice calm despite his racing heart. The message was simple: "We come in peace and friendship. We are the Valorans." Within hours, world leaders gathered to respond. President Min addressed the Valorans with cautious optimism. "Earth welcomes you with open minds and hopes for peaceful exchange." 3 days later, the Valorans sent down a shuttle. It landed in a field outside Seoul, where a diplomatic team waited. Ambassador Rin was the first to emerge, tall and slender with pale blue skin that seemed to glow from within. 4 more Valorans followed her. "We have watched your world for many years," Rin explained as she sat across from human representatives. "Your species shows great promise." The Valorans revealed they had mastered faster-than-light travel centuries ago. They offered to share this technology with Earth. "We believe in cooperation, not conquest," Rin said with a gentle smile. Scientists from both worlds began working together. Dr. Yun led Earth's research team, spending long hours with Valoran engineers to understand their crystal-based technology. "It defies our physics," Dr. Yun told Captain Tak one evening as they reviewed progress. "But it works. In 5 years, we could have our own FTL ships." It took only 3. The first human-built starship, Unity, launched with a crew of both humans and Valorans. Captain Tak commanded the mission with Rin serving as his advisor. They visited 3 nearby star systems before returning to a hero's welcome. Trade agreements followed. Earth provided raw materials and art, while the Valorans shared medical advancements that cured several human diseases. Cultural exchanges flourished, with human music becoming especially popular among young Valorans. But not everyone in the galaxy was pleased with this new alliance. 6 months after Unity's historic flight, a delegation from the Galactic Council requested a meeting with Earth and Valoran representatives. The council members arrived in ships that dwarfed even the Valoran vessels. Their designs were angular and threatening, covered in what appeared to be weapon systems. Councillor Quan led the delegation. He was short with gray skin and 6 fingers on each hand. His eyes were completely black, making his expressions hard to read. "The Council oversees all major interstellar affairs," Quan explained during the formal meeting. "We ensure stability and prevent unfortunate conflicts." Ambassador Rin seemed tense throughout the meeting. When the council representatives left, she pulled President Min and Captain Tak aside. "The council claims to protect peace, but they enforce uniformity," she whispered. "They've eliminated species they deemed unpredictable before. Our standing has protected us so far, but your rapid advancement concerns them." "Are they threatening us?" Tak asked bluntly. "Not directly," Rin replied. "But we should accelerate our defense planning." Over the next year, Earth and Valora deepened their alliance. Valoran engineers helped design shield technology for Earth's growing fleet of ships. Human military strategists shared tactical concepts with the traditionally peaceful Valorans. The Galactic Council watched these developments with growing concern. Councillor Quan filed report after report about the dangerous potential of humans and their influence on the Valorans. "They lack proper respect for established order," Quan told the full council. "The humans push boundaries without understanding consequences, and now they're pulling the Valorans down this reckless path." Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Tak was promoted to Admiral and given command of Earth's first combat-ready starship fleet. 5 vessels equipped with both human and Valoran technology prepared for their maiden voyage. "We hope for peace," Admiral Tak told his crews before launch. "But we must be ready for anything." As Earth's ships departed for their first patrol mission alongside Valoran vessels, Councillor Quan called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. "The time for observation has ended," he declared. "We must act decisively before these humans become a greater threat." The Council voted. The decision was made. The fate of Earth and Valora was sealed, though neither world yet knew it. Ambassador Rin stood before the Galactic Council chambers, her blue skin reflecting the harsh lights above. She had come to present a formal alliance agreement between Valora and Earth, hoping the Council would accept both worlds as equals in galactic affairs. "The humans have proven themselves to be worthy partners," Rin stated, her voice clear and confident. "They learn quickly, but respectfully. They seek knowledge, not dominance." The council members sat in a semicircle on raised platforms. Councillor Quan leaned forward, his black eyes unreadable. "We have reviewed your proposal," Quan said slowly, "and we have reached a decision." A sudden humming filled the chamber. Ren felt a strange vibration through her feet just as her communication device signaled an urgent message. Before she could check it, energy barriers sprang up around her and her small team. "What is the meaning of this?" she demanded, pressing her hands against the shimmering field. Quan stood up. "The Council has determined that the human influence on galactic stability is unacceptable. Your people's choice to align with them cannot be allowed to continue." On Earth, Admiral Tak was in the middle of a routine meeting when emergency alarms blared throughout the command center. Lieutenant Hannah rushed in, her face pale. "Sir, we're receiving distress signals from every Valoran colony simultaneously," she reported, bringing up a galactic map on the main screen. Red warning lights blinked across the display where Valoran worlds were located. The first video transmission came through seconds later. A Valoran city was burning. Council warships hung in the sky, raining down energy weapons on defenseless buildings. The transmission cut off abruptly. "Get me President Min immediately," Tak ordered, his voice tight with controlled fury. Across the galaxy, the systematic destruction of Valoran civilization unfolded with brutal efficiency. The peaceful species had few defenses. Their shield technology, designed primarily for navigation and environmental protection, failed against the Council's military-grade weapons. On Valora Prime, the Valoran homeworld, children were being evacuated to underground shelters when the first Council ships appeared. The planetary defense grid, recently upgraded with Earth technology, managed to down 2 enemy vessels before being overwhelmed. Back on Earth, world leaders gathered in an emergency session. Video feeds from the few surviving Valoran outposts showed scenes of devastation. Billions of Valorans were already dead or missing. President Min addressed the somber gathering. "The Galactic Council has revealed its true nature. They expected us to stand by while they slaughtered our allies." She paused, looking at each face in the room. "I propose we show them how humans respond to betrayal." The vote was unanimous. Admiral Tak received his orders within the hour. Earth's fleet, though small compared to the Council forces, was immediately mobilized. Every available ship was prepared for combat, even those still in the testing phase. "We have reports that a pocket of Valorans are holding out on their colony in the Cygnus system," General June informed Tak. "They've established a defensive perimeter using modified mining equipment. It won't last long." "Then we better get there quickly," Tak replied, studying the tactical display. "How many ships can we deploy immediately?" 7 combat-ready vessels, sir. 4 more can launch within 12 hours. Tak nodded grimly. "We'll take what we have now." The Valorans don't have 12 hours. As Earth prepared its military response, Ambassador Rin and her team remained prisoners in the Council chamber. From their energy cell, they watched as Councillor Quan received regular updates on the assault. "Why are you doing this?" Rin asked, her voice heavy with grief. "We have never threatened you." Quan approached the barrier. "Your species was acceptable when you were predictable. Humans are chaotic, innovative in dangerous ways. Your alliance with them upset the balance we have maintained for millennia. So you murder billions to maintain your control." Rin's voice shook with anger. "We eliminate threats before they can grow," Quan replied coldly. The humans will be next. As Earth's ships departed for their first patrol mission alongside Valoran vessels, Counselor Quan called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. "The time for observation has ended," he declared. "We must act decisively before these humans become a greater threat." The Council voted. The decision was made. The fate of Earth and Valora was sealed, though neither world yet knew it. Ambassador Rin stood before the Galactic Council chambers, her blue skin reflecting the harsh lights above. She had come to present a formal alliance agreement between Valora and Earth, hoping the Council would accept both worlds as equals in galactic affairs. "The humans have proven themselves to be worthy partners," Rin stated, her voice clear and confident. "They learn quickly, but respectfully. They seek knowledge, not dominance." The council members sat in a semicircle on raised platforms. Counselor Quan leaned forward, his black eyes unreadable. "We have reviewed your proposal," Quan said slowly, "and we have reached a decision." A sudden humming filled the chamber. Ren felt a strange vibration through her feet just as her communication device signaled an urgent message. Before she could check it, energy barriers sprang up around her and her small team. "What is the meaning of this?" she demanded, pressing her hands against the shimmering field. Quan stood up. "The Council has determined that the human influence on galactic stability is unacceptable. Your people's choice to align with them cannot be allowed to continue." On Earth, Admiral Tak was in the middle of a routine meeting when emergency alarms blared throughout the command center. Lieutenant Hannah rushed in, her face pale. "Sir, we're receiving distress signals from every Valoran colony simultaneously," she reported, bringing up a galactic map on the main screen. Red warning lights blinked across the display where Valoran worlds were located. The first video transmission came through seconds later. A Valoran city was burning. Council warships hung in the sky, raining down energy weapons on defenseless buildings. The transmission cut off abruptly. "Get me President Min immediately," Tak ordered, his voice tight with controlled fury. Across the galaxy, the systematic destruction of Valoran civilization unfolded with brutal efficiency. The peaceful species had few defenses. Their shield technology, designed primarily for navigation and environmental protection, failed against the Council's military-grade weapons. On Valora Prime, the Valoran homeworld, children were being evacuated to underground shelters when the first Council ships appeared. The planetary defense grid, recently upgraded with Earth technology, managed to down 2 enemy vessels before being overwhelmed. Back on Earth, world leaders gathered in an emergency session. Video feeds from the few surviving Valoran outposts showed scenes of devastation. Billions of Valorans were already dead or missing. President Min addressed the somber gathering. "The Galactic Council has revealed its true nature. They expected us to stand by while they slaughtered our allies." She paused, looking at each face in the room. "I propose we show them how humans respond to betrayal." The vote was unanimous. Admiral Tak received his orders within the hour. Earth's fleet, though small compared to the Council forces, was immediately mobilized. Every available ship was prepared for combat, even those still in the testing phase. "We have reports that a pocket of Valorans are holding out on their colony in the Cygnus system," General Jun informed Tak. "They've established a defensive perimeter using modified mining equipment. It won't last long." "Then we better get there quickly," Tak replied, studying the tactical display. "How many ships can we deploy immediately?" 7 combat-ready vessels, sir. 4 more can launch within 12 hours. Tak nodded grimly. "We'll take what we have now." The Valorans don't have 12 hours. As Earth prepared its military response, Ambassador Rin and her team remained prisoners in the Council chamber. From their energy cell, they watched as Counselor Quan received regular updates on the assault. "Why are you doing this?" Rin asked, her voice heavy with grief. "We have never threatened you." Quan approached the barrier. "Your species was acceptable when you were predictable. Humans are chaotic, innovative in dangerous ways. Your alliance with them upset the balance we have maintained for millennia." So you murder billions to maintain your control. Rin's voice shook with anger. We eliminate threats before they can grow, Quan replied coldly. The humans will be next. A junior council member rushed into the chamber, whispering urgently to Quan. His expression changed from confidence to concern. What do you mean? Earth ships are attacking our forces, Quan demanded. On the Cygnus colony, the remaining Valorans had retreated to their last defensive position when the sky lit up with new energy signatures. Council ships began exploding in orbit as Earth vessels emerged from light speed, weapons firing. A transmission reached the Valoran defenders. This is Admiral Tak of Earth Defense Forces. Hold on, friends. We're coming for you. As Council forces scrambled to respond to the unexpected attack, President Min addressed her people back on Earth. Today we face an enemy that believes in domination through fear, she said, her voice broadcast globally. They thought we would abandon our friends. They were wrong. Earth stands with Valora, now and always. News of the Valoran massacre reached every corner of Earth within hours. People gathered in streets, homes, and public spaces to watch footage of the devastation. Many wept openly for their alien friends. Others stood in shocked silence. In Tokyo, Dr. Yun worked without sleep for 36 hours straight. Her laboratory, once a place of peaceful scientific exchange with Valoran researchers, now buzzed with urgent energy. Holographic displays showed the molecular structure of Valoran crystals, rotating slowly as her team analyzed their properties. The Council weapons used standard energy configurations, she explained to the military officials who had gathered in her lab. But Valoran crystals resonate at frequencies the Council has never weaponized. She touched a small blue crystal, causing it to hum gently. We can turn their most basic technology against them. Across the Pacific in San Francisco, the massive shipyards that once built ocean vessels had been converted for space construction. Civilian ships, cargo haulers, mining vessels, even luxury cruisers were being stripped down and rebuilt as warships. Shipyard Supervisor Day walked through the chaos, shouting instructions over the constant noise of welding and hammering. The Stellar Princess needs to be combat-ready in 48 hours. He called to a team attaching weapon mounts to what had been a passenger liner. It's not designed for military systems, a technician protested. None of these ships are, Day replied grimly. But they're all we have. In Washington, D.C., President Min met with Earth's top military strategists. Maps of known Council territories filled the screens around them. The Council expects us to cower, General Jun said, pointing to the display. Their forces are spread thin because they never anticipated resistance. Admiral Tak, speaking via secure channel from his flagship, added, their overconfidence gives us our only advantage. They follow predictable patterns, attack in standard formations. They've never faced an enemy that thinks differently. President Min studied the maps. How many Valorans can we still save? Intelligence suggests detention centers have been established on these 3 worlds. General Jun indicated red dots on the map. The Council appears to be holding Valoran leadership for public execution, including Ambassador Rin. President Min asked. General Jun nodded solemnly. President Min looked around the room. Earth has never faced an interstellar enemy before. We are outgunned and outnumbered. But we have something the Council lacks, the will to risk everything for what's right. She stood straighter. Authorize all necessary resources. We fight back. In orbit above Earth, 16 ships formed a ragged battle group. Most had been something else just days before. Science vessels, trade ships, even a deep space hospital. Now they'd bristled with hastily mounted weapons and shield generators. Inside the lead ship, renamed EDF Vengeance, Admiral Tak addressed the fleet commanders on a shared channel. Our plan is unorthodox, he admitted, gesturing to the tactical display. The Council expects direct confrontation. Instead, we'll use guerrilla tactics, striking their supply lines and communication relays before disappearing. Captain Han, formerly a cargo pilot, raised her hand. "My crew has never seen combat." "None of us have fought an interstellar war," Tak acknowledged. "But remember why we fight. The Valorans welcomed us to the stars with friendship. We will not abandon them." As the fleet prepared to depart, Dr. Yun arrived with a team of scientists carrying specialized equipment. "Harmonic disruptors," she explained, handing the first device to Admiral Tak. "Based on Valoran crystal technology. It creates a resonance field that should disrupt Council shield systems." "Should?" Tak raised an eyebrow. Dr. Yun met his gaze steadily. "We haven't had time for proper testing. But the theory is sound." Tak nodded. "Install them immediately." As Earth's improvised fleet prepared to launch, citizens gathered in fields and rooftops to watch. Children held handmade signs wishing the ships good luck. Many people brought blue flowers, the color of Valoran's skin, and released them into the wind as the ships rose through the atmosphere. On the bridge of the Vengeance, Admiral Tak received one final transmission from Earth. "Admiral," President Min said, her image slightly distorted on the screen, "you carry the hopes of two worlds. Remember, we don't need to win every battle. We just need to show the Council that their actions have consequences." Tak nodded. "We won't let you down." As Earth grew smaller behind them, Lieutenant Hannah approached the Admiral. "Course laid in, sir. All ships report ready." "Then let's bring the fight to them," Tak said quietly. For Earth and Valora, the 16 ships accelerated in perfect formation, then vanished into the darkness of space, carrying humanity's vengeance to the stars. The Council supply station orbiting a gas giant in the Rigel system had never needed heavy defenses. For thousands of years, no one had dared attack Galactic Council facilities. The board security officers monitored their sensors with little interest, playing games on secondary screens. An alarm suddenly blared. 3 unidentified ships had appeared from nowhere, already inside the station's defensive perimeter. "Impossible," the lead officer muttered, frantically activating the station's shields. No ships could approach without detection. But the Earth vessels had used a Valoran navigation technique, skimming the gas giant's atmosphere to mask their approach. Before the Council shields fully engaged, Admiral Tak's flagship launched Dr. Yun's harmonic disruptors. The devices floated toward the station, looking harmless until they activated. Suddenly, the station's shields flickered and failed completely. "Fire," Tak ordered calmly. Precision strikes disabled the station's weapons and communication systems. No Council reinforcements would arrive in time. "We have 15 minutes, Tak told his boarding teams. "Take everything useful and plant the charges." The Earth soldiers moved with practiced efficiency, downloading Council databases and seizing critical supplies. They placed explosives at key structural points, then retreated to their ships. As they pulled away, the station erupted in a series of controlled explosions. It didn't destroy the facility entirely, but ensured it would be useless for months. "First strike successful," Lieutenant Hannah reported. "No casualties on either side." Tak nodded with satisfaction. "That's how we'll win this war. Not through destruction, but by making the cost of their campaign too high to bear." Similar raids occurred simultaneously across Council space. Earth's small fleet, divided into even smaller strike teams, attacked with surgical precision. They targeted supply lines, communication relays, and fuel depots, the infrastructure of war rather than military targets. The Council was unprepared for this approach. Their massive warships sat helplessly as Earth vessels struck and vanished before they could respond. Council commanders, trained in conventional warfare, struggled to adapt to humanity's unconventional tactics. After 2 weeks of successful raids, Admiral Tak received intelligence about a Council prison world where captured Valorans were being held. Among them was Ambassador Rin. "It's heavily defended," General Jun warned during their secure communication. "A direct assault would be suicide." "Then we won't attack directly," Tak replied. He turned to his tactical officer. Show me the planet's supply schedule. The plan they developed was audacious. Earth forces hijacked a Council supply ship bound for the prison world. Disguised as Council personnel, a small team led by Captain Han landed on the planet. While pretending to unload supplies, they mapped security systems and located prisoner areas. That night, as the prison's guard rotation changed, 3 Earth ships dropped from orbit, using the harmonic disruptors to create gaps in the planetary shield. Strike teams descended directly into the prison compound. Alarms blared as Council guards scrambled to respond, but the Earth forces moved with precise coordination, disabling security systems and freeing prisoners section by section. Captain Han found Ambassador Rin in a high-security cell. The once dignified Valoran was thin and weak, but her eyes lit up at the sight of humans. "You came for us," she whispered, her voice rough from disuse. "Of course we did," Han replied, helping her stand. "Earth keeps its promises." As they escaped with over 3,000 Valoran prisoners, Council reinforcements arrived. A massive warship moved to cut off their retreat. "Our shields won't hold against that," Lieutenant Hanna warned as the Council vessel locked weapons on them. "We don't need shields," Tak responded. "We have something better." He activated the ship's communication. "Dr. Eun, is your new device ready?" "Ready, Admiral," the scientist confirmed from her station. "But it's untested at this scale. No time like the present." The advanced harmonic disruptor launched toward the Council warship. On impact, it didn't just disable their shields. It created a resonance cascade through their power systems. The massive vessel went dark, drifting helplessly as the Earth ships escaped with their rescued Valorans. Back on Earth, the return of Ambassador Rin and the other survivors was celebrated globally. In medical facilities, the rescued Valorans began recovering, sharing vital intelligence about Council operations. They never expected humans to fight this way, Rin told President Min during their reunion. "The Council trains its forces to follow strict protocols. Your unpredictability terrifies them." News of the rescue spread quickly through hidden Valoran resistance networks. Surviving Valorans who had been in hiding began sabotaging Council operations from within. As Admiral Tak planned their next operations, intelligence reports showed the Council withdrawing forces from outer systems to protect their core worlds. "They're retreating," Lieutenant Hanna observed with surprise. "Not retreating," Tak corrected her. "Consolidating. They're preparing for a decisive battle." He studied the tactical display showing Council movements. "And so must we." 6 months of guerrilla warfare had pushed the Galactic Council to its breaking point. Their once mighty fleets now huddled protectively around their central command station, a massive ring-shaped structure orbiting a red dwarf star. The station housed the Council's leadership and coordinated all their military operations. "They believe it's impregnable," Admiral Tak said, addressing the commanders gathered on the Bridge of the Vengeance. Earth's fleet had grown to 47 ships, still small compared to Council forces, but battle-hardened and innovative. Ambassador Rin stood beside him, representing the Valoran resistance. Months of fighting had changed her. The peaceful diplomat now wore a modified Earth military uniform, her once soft features hardened by loss and determination. "The station has 3 defensive rings," she explained, pointing to the holographic display. "No attacking force has ever breached even the outer layer." "No attacking force has ever had our advantages," Tak replied. He gestured to Dr. Yun, who stepped forward confidently. "The harmonic technology has been refined," she said. "We can now target specific shield frequencies and create directed disruption corridors." Captain Han studied the station schematic closely. "We still need to get close enough to deploy the disruptors." "That's where we come in," said a new voice. A tall Valoran named Gil entered the bridge. Once a cultural ambassador, now he commanded the remaining Valoran ships. "My people have discovered something we kept hidden even from ourselves." The plan they developed was desperate, but no one suggested an alternative. Their resources were dwindling. Earth itself was now under blockade by Council forces. This would be their only chance to end the war. 3 days later, the combined Earth-Valoran fleet emerged from hyperspace directly above the Council station. Immediately, alarms blared across the defensive perimeter as hundreds of Council ships moved to intercept. All vessels, execute pattern Omega, TAC ordered calmly. Earth ships scattered in seemingly random directions, drawing Council forces into pursuit. Meanwhile, the Valoran vessels activated technology they had never before revealed in their peaceful history. Stealth field generators that bent light around their hulls, making them nearly invisible. These cloaked ships slipped past the outer defensive ring, positioning harmonic disruptors at precise coordinates. When activated simultaneously, the devices created a tunnel of disrupted energy through the station's shields. Admiral Tech's flagship, accompanied by 5 other Earth vessels, accelerated directly toward this temporary gap. Shields failing, Lieutenant Hanna called out as Council weapons fire battered their ships. 2 of their escorts exploded in brilliant flashes. "Stay on course," TAC ordered, his knuckles white, as he gripped the command rail. The Vengeance shuddered violently as it pushed through the shield gap, systems failing across the ship. TAC knew they wouldn't survive another pass. "All hands, prepare for impact," he announced, before turning to Hanna. "Target the main power core." The damaged Earth vessel plunged toward the station's central hub, trailing debris and atmosphere. Council point defense weapons tried to destroy the ship, but they had committed too many resources to the outer battle. "For Earth and Valora," TAC said quietly as the station filled their view screen. The impact sent shockwaves through the entire station. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut as sections decompressed. The Council's central command chamber, where councilors had been watching the battle with confidence, suddenly plunged into darkness. Outside, the battle raged on. Earth ships were outnumbered, but fought with desperate courage. Whenever a Council formation appeared to gain advantage, Valoran stealth vessels would appear from nowhere, striking critical systems before disappearing again. Then something unexpected happened. Several Council ships suddenly turned their weapons on their own fleet. Confusion spread through the Council forces as more vessels changed sides. Ambassador Rin, commanding a Valoran ship, received a transmission from one of the defecting Council captains. "Many of us never supported the genocide," the captain explained, her alien features tight with emotion. "We were afraid to speak against the Council leadership, but now we choose to stand with you." As the station's backup systems came online, Councillor Quan and the remaining leadership found themselves surrounded by their own security forces. "The Council's authority is rescinded," announced the Chief of Security, a veteran who had privately opposed the war from the beginning. "Too much blood has been spilled." 3 days later, representatives from 24 species gathered on what remained of the Council station. Earth's President Min and Ambassador Rin arrived together to negotiate peace terms. They walked past the wreckage of Admiral Tech's ship, now serving as a makeshift memorial. Crew members had placed Earth and Valoran symbols side by side on the twisted hull. Inside the meeting chamber, former enemies sat together, discussing a new form of galactic governance, one based on consensus rather than control, diversity rather than uniformity. "From the ashes of tragedy, we build something better," Rin said, addressing the gathered representatives. "Earth taught us to defend ourselves. Now together, we will teach the galaxy a better way to live." President Min nodded in agreement, looking around at the diverse faces. "Today we remember those we lost. Billions of Valorans, thousands of humans, and yes, those Council forces who died following unjust orders. Their sacrifice demands that what we create now must last." The Galactic Alliance was born that day, founded on principles of sovereignty, mutual respect, and the simple truth that diversity of thought was not something to fear, but to celebrate. Captain Hyunwoo Ryu sat in the command chair of the lead ship, the Thunderbolt. "All ships report ready," his officer said. "Then let's save Mars," Hyunwoo replied. The ships jumped to light speed using technology the aliens thought humans didn't have. The trip to Mars took hours instead of months. When they arrived, the scene was bad. 3 large purifier ships were shooting at the Mars domes. Parts of the colony were already on fire. The colonists were sending desperate messages. "This is Captain Ryu of Earth Defense Force. Hyanwu broadcast to the alien ships. Stop your attack immediately." The purifier ships turned toward the human fleet. They fired their weapons at the Thunderbolt, but nothing happened. The shots hit a shield that absorbed all the energy. "Impossible," the purifier commander said. "Their ships should be destroyed." "Show them what we can really do," Captain Hyunwoo ordered. The Thunderbolt fired a single shot. The energy beam cut through the purifier ship's shields like they weren't there. The alien ship's engines died. The other purifier ships attacked harder, but more human ships arrived. The battle was quick. The human ships moved in ways the aliens had never seen. Their weapons worked in ways alien science said was impossible. In just 1 hour, the purifier ships were either captured or destroyed. From a safe distance, Confederation observation ships watched in shock. They had come to see humans lose another colony. Instead, they saw human ships defeat enemies that would have troubled even the Confederation's best warships. "What have the humans been hiding?" an alien observer asked. No one had an answer. The big room was filled with angry aliens. Some had tentacles, others had wings, and some didn't look like anything humans had seen before. High Counselor Drixel, the leader of the Galactic Confederation, moved his 8 tentacles in angry motions. "Explain yourselves immediately," Drixel demanded. His voice boomed through the room. "You hid an entire space city. You built advanced ships in secret." Admiral Daehyun stood in front of the alien leaders. He wasn't scared. He wasn't nervous. He looked calm and confident. "For 20 years, you watched our planet," Admiral Daehyun said. "You judged us as too simple and primitive. You wouldn't let us join your science teams or defense groups. Did you think we wouldn't notice your spy satellites? Did you think we would just sit and wait for you to accept us?" The aliens looked at each other. Some made angry noises. Others looked worried. "You lied to us," said a tall, thin alien with blue skin. "No," Admiral Daehyun replied. "We just didn't tell you everything. The same way you didn't tell us everything." Professor Sung Ho-yoon stepped forward. He was the lead scientist from Olympus Station. He touched a small device on his wrist, and suddenly the room filled with 3D images showing Olympus Station. "While you refused to answer our questions, we found our own answers," Sung-ho said. The 3D tour showed the aliens everything. They saw farms growing food inside the space station. They saw power systems that made energy in new ways. They saw factories that built things the aliens thought were impossible. "This can't be real," said an insect-like alien scientist. "I assure you, it is," Sung-ho replied. "We can arrange visits if you wish to see it with your own eyes, or sensing organs." The alien leaders whispered to each other. Some looked angry. Some looked impressed. All looked surprised. Admiral Daehyun touched another button. New 3D images appeared, showing other space stations hidden in different places in the solar system. "Olympus is just one of several such stations," he said. "Humans have always prepared for the worst while hoping for the best." A 6-armed alien scientist studied the details of the human ships. She looked at the engine designs and weapon systems with all 4 of her eyes wide open. "This propulsion system, it combines ideas from 3 different science paths," she said. "According to our understanding, this shouldn't work at all." Professor Sung-ho smiled. "Yet it does work. Humans are good at connecting ideas that others miss." The 6-armed scientist looked at her fellow aliens. They mixed magnetic field theory with quantum tunneling and gravity manipulation. No single species in the Confederation has done this before.